Hey guys, it's Casey's Politics. So we are now in a new month as it is currently September of 2025. So I will be making my 2026 house map prediction as of September 2025. So it's important to take into account that we are pretty far out from election day 2026. But as of September 2025, I'll be making this prediction with the information we currently have. So, without further ado, and that being said, we're going to fill out this map here. Firstly, we have Arizona's first, David Schweikart. Schweikart outperformed Trump by about 0.7%. Schweikart seems to be a pretty strong candidate. I'll give him the advantage as of now. Juan Ciscomani, this district is going to be very competitive. It's arguably going to be the most competitive seat that Republicans hold. And Ciscomani won it by 2.5. He outperformed Trump by a lot. Ciscomani seems to be a pretty strong candidate. He seems like a good fit for Arizona, especially. So I will give him this tilt Republican advantage. So now we have Adam Gray. Adam Gray was elected in 2024 very narrowly. He won by the skin of his teeth. He seems to be a pretty strong candidate. He will be facing likely Republican, a likely local Republican mayor, which is a pretty decent candidate for Republicans. But with lower Republican turnout in the midterms and the national environment, as of now, I would give this to Adam Gray. And we have these ratings here. I agree with them. And Ken Calvert, this potentially may go down to tilt, but I'll keep it at lean Republican. Derek Tran, he was able to win in 2024 again by a narrow margin. Underperformed Harris. With the national environment, I will give this to him still, especially California, probably going to redistrict before 2026. So Gabe Evans, he was elected in a very close race in 2024 against incumbent Democrat Yadiro Caravello. Gabe Evans, while he is a strong candidate, he will probably be facing Caravello again. Albeit Caravello was not that strong of a candidate. She said some questionable things and voted a lot of questionably ways. So I'm not sure if Caravello is going to be the Democratic nominee again. It could be somebody else, like a local state representative for Democrats. But I would probably still give it to Democrats just because this is a very swingy district and there's going to be lots of low propensity Republican voters likely not going to vote in this election. Florida's 23rd. This one could be one to keep an eye on if Florida decides to redistrict. But as of now, I'll keep it at lean Democrat. So now we have Marionette Miller Meeks. Now, this was one of the closest House races in 2026, other than Adam Gray's race. Marionette Miller Meeks is not a very strong candidate at all. She underperformed Trump by almost 8 points. Um, there is a possibility Meeks decides to retire, but I feel like also another thing many people aren't talking about. I think Republicans were caught off guard in Iowa's first to Miller Meeks winning it pretty comfortably in 2022. Now, this is going to be extremely close, but with the Republican fundraising numbers in Iowa shifting to the right as a whole, as of now, I will give this to Miller Meeks. So we have Indiana's first year. Indiana is likely to redistrict, and I think Mervan will get drawn out. So, with that being said, assuming Indiana decides to redistrict, I will actually give this to Republicans only if Indiana is redistricted. And then we have Maine second and Jared Golden. Again, he was able to win very narrowly. He did a lot worse though in 2022, as he won by 6 in 2022. He only won by zero point 0.7 this time. That was also partially because of Trump's presence on the ballot. But Jared Golden is a very strong candidate. He's pretty much the only Democrat that can win in Maine second. Republicans may put up former Governor Paul LePage, who might be an okay candidate. But as of now, I will probably give this to Golden by a lean margin. And now we have Tom Barrett, who flipped Alyssa Slotkin's seat last year. He outperformed Trump by a lot. He faced a pretty weak Democrat, Curtis Hertel Jr. Obviously, Democrats are going to run a much stronger candidate. I saw that potentially a state senator from Lansing is going to be running. She's not that much stronger than Hertel. But this one is going to be very close. I'm not even really sure I can make a call, but as of now, I'll put it at tilt Democrat, just because low propensity voters potentially not coming out in the midterms. Now, McDonald Rivet won by 6 last time. I think she'll probably win by around 4 or 5. She faced a pretty weak candidate in Paul Young last time, and she won by 6. So John James in Michigan's 10th. This is centered around Detroit, like Macomb County area. Um, John James, he is retiring. I'm not sure who Republicans are going to run in Michigan's 10th. It doesn't seem like they have many decent candidates, but this district seems to be trending right. So as of now, I'll give the advantage to Democrats. And Angie Craig, she's retired and run for Senate. I expect this to probably be likely. So now we have Don Davis. Davis was able to hold on in 2024. This is a pretty red trending district. Lots of Republicans were expecting to flip this in 2024 with Lori Buckout, and Buckout ultimately fell short. But it looks like Republicans are going to be running a local mayor against Don Davis this time around. So Don Davis seems like a pretty strong candidate, and I don't really see him losing. I think he probably wins by a few points. And Don Bacon will be retiring in Nebraska. I expect this to be a pretty much automatic flip. This probably is likely, but as of now, I'll see like a 4 point Democratic win, depending who Republicans nominate. In New Hampshire's first congressional district, this was a big NRCC target back in the day, a few years ago. Chris Pappas, who was running for Senate, outperformed Harris by a lot. But I still expect this district to go blue due to New Hampshire's partisan lean at the federal level. So now we have Tom Keene. Tom Keene is a very strong candidate. This is a red trending district. Tom Keene, first elected in 2022, he was able to knock off Tom Malinowski. So it is gonna be competitive in 2026, but I expect Keene to hold on. He's a pretty strong candidate. I think he probably wins by a couple points. Now, this is another red trending district. Trump was actually able to flip this district. So Powell won by 5 points in 2024. Trump only won this district by 1 point, which is still pretty impressive. This is a red trending district, but I expect Powell to hold on. Probably even likely. Now we have Gabe Vasquez. This is a very gerrymandered district, so I don't expect Democrats to have much of a problem there, even though Trump was able to win, which is pretty impressive. Now, this one Nevada district seems to be trending pretty red. But again, this is pretty gerrymandered, so I don't think Republicans will have much of a shot there. And we have these New York races here. Thomas Suozzi, I don't expect him to lose. He's a very strong candidate. He positions himself as a blue dog, even though, he's not really. Same kind of thing with Laura Gillen. I think she is able to hold on. She's a pretty strong candidate for New York's 4th district. And we have Mike Lawler. There were rumors that he was going to run for governor. Doesn't look like he will not run for governor, actually. It will probably be Elise Stefanik who will take the Republican nomination. Mike Lawler is an extremely strong candidate, so I don't think he's going to have too much of a problem winning. Josh Riley, I expect him to win by like 4 or 5. And Greg Landsman. So we're now seeing these Ohio districts here. There is a high possibility that Republicans might redraw the first congressional district as Ohio will be redrawn. So, but I would probably still expect Ohio's first to stay Democratic. I'm not sure how good Republicans could draw there. Now, Marcy Kaptur, this district is very likely to be redrawn to Republicans' liking. She's on her 22nd term. She barely won against Derek Marin in 2024, and she will probably lose this time due to redistricting. Same kind of thing with Amelia Sykes. I think Republicans are going to be able to draw this district a little bit better as Republicans will be redistricting in Ohio. So I think those two will be flipped in Ohio. Potentially Ohio's first. And then we have Pennsylvania 7th, Ryan McKenzie. He was able to beat Susan Wild last year. Ryan McKenzie, although he's a strong candidate, I would probably expect Democrats to narrowly flip this seat. Republicans don't really have the best geography in this seat. It's centered around Philadelphia suburbs. So now Pennsylvania's 8th, Rob Bresnahan, he was able to defeat Matt Cartwright last year. It looks like Democrats will run Scranton mayor, the mayor of Scranton, who's a pretty strong candidate. Bresnahan, I'm not sure if his approval ratings have been that great due to some stock tradings or allegations or corruption or stuff like that. So with that, I think I would probably put this at tilt Republican. With Democrats putting up a strong candidate. Scott Perry. This is another race where I feel like Republicans were kind of caught off guard due to Perry winning pretty comfortably in 2022. I would probably expect Republicans to invest a lot more money into this race, especially because Perry will be facing Janelle Stelson, who he barely beat last time around. So I expect Republicans to put a lot of money in this. Democrats will put a lot of money in it also. But I think ultimately Perry will be able to hold on. Now we have a redistricting flip here. Al Green, his seat will be flipped to safe Republican. Henry Cuellar in Texas, 28th district. This is already a red trending district. Trump was able to win this district by 7. Henry Cuellar really seems to be liked in southern Texas. The district was not really drawn that great by Republicans. I think they could have drawn it a lot more favorable to them. This is a pure toss up, but as of now, I'd probably put it at tilt Democrat just because the district was not really drawn that great. Julie Johnson, that's going to be pretty much an automatic flip there. And Vicente Gonzalez, I would probably expect this to be around lean to tilt. I'll probably put it at tilt. And Greg Cassar, his district will also probably flip. Now we have Jen Kiggins in this Virginia Beach Center district. Jen Kiggins seems to be a pretty strong candidate. She outperformed Trump by a lot. A lot of money is going to be poured into this race on both sides, but I think Kiggins will prevail because she's a pretty strong candidate. Eugene Vidman, he's pretty much the living embodiment of Northern Virginia. He's very far left and he's a resist lib, so I would expect him to hold on, obviously. And Marie Gluesenkamp Perez, she's going to be facing a lot stronger Republican challengers this time, other than Joe Kent. But Gluesenkamp Perez is a pretty strong candidate. Republicans are going to target it a lot, but it's difficult. And now we have Derek Van Orden. I think he may go down. It's going to be really close. It's essentially a toss-up, but as of now, I'd probably give this to Democrats. So this is the map, and There's also more redistricting in the state of Missouri here, which I think will probably be a flip out of that Kansas City area seat. Can't forget about that one. So there's going to be a lot of redistricting. I think for Republicans, they could be potentially in Kentucky with the Louisville centered seats. Maybe Kansas Republicans will get on redistricting. Looks like Missouri will be redistricting the Kansas City seat, which will probably be like an R+8 around seat. So, but again, as of September 2025, this is going to be my house map prediction. 223 for Republicans, 212 for Democrats. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate all the support my last several videos have got. But thank you guys for watching. This is Casey's Politics.